Say something to your parrot right now. Say its name, say hello, say anything, and watch what happens. It talks back. It responds. It uses real words from your language, words it heard you say, words it chose to repeat. Now ask yourself something that most parrot owners never stop to think about. Does it actually know what it is saying? For decades, scientists dismissed this question entirely. Parrots mimic, they said. They copy sounds. They're like feathered tape recorders. There is no understanding. There is no meaning. There is nothing happening behind those eyes except repetition. But then something happened that changed everything. A parrot walked into a laboratory and proved them all wrong. Not just a little wrong, completely, fundamentally, scientifically wrong. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly what that parrot did, what it said, and what it revealed about the minds of these birds that will change the way you see your parrot forever. Because the answer to whether your parrot understands what it is saying is not what you expect. It is so much more.
The experiment that changed science. In 1977, a young scientist named Dr. Irene Pepperberg walked into a pet shop and purchased an ordinary African gray parrot. She named him Alex. At the time, the scientific world believed that true language and understanding belonged only to humans and possibly to great apes like chimpanzees. Birds were not even part of the conversation. They were considered beautiful but simple creatures, capable of nothing more than mechanical imitation. Dr. Pepperberg believed otherwise. For 30 years, she worked with Alex every single day, teaching him, testing him, listening to him. And what Alex demonstrated over those 3 decades shook the foundations of animal cognition research permanently. Alex could identify 50 different objects by name. He understood the concept of color and could correctly name 7 different colors. He understood the concept of shape, of material, of size. He could count up to 6. He understood the concept of 0, something many animals and even some young children struggle with. But it was not just what Alex knew, it was how he used what he knew. When Alex was shown a blue wooden cube and asked what color it was, he did not just produce a random sound. He thought, he looked, and he said, blue. When he was shown 2 objects and asked how many there were, he did not guess. He counted, and he answered correctly. When he made a mistake and was corrected, he sometimes argued back. He pushed back against the wrong answer. He insisted he was right. And sometimes he was. This was not mimicry. This was communication. Real, intentional, meaningful communication between a bird and a human.
What your parrot is actually doing. Now here is where it gets even more fascinating and more personal. When your parrot says something to you, it is not always copying. Research has shown that many parrots develop what scientists call functional use of language. They use specific words in specific situations, consistently, in ways that suggest they understand the connection between the word and what it represents. Your parent may say hello when you enter the room, not randomly, not at any other time, just when you arrive. Your parent may say, want a treat, near the food bowl, not when playing, not when sleeping, just when it is hungry and near the place where food comes from. Your parent may say, night-night, as the lights go dim, not in the middle of the afternoon, just when the room gets dark and it is time to sleep. That is not random imitation. That is context. That is association. That is a form of understanding that scientists, even just 50 years ago, believed was impossible for a bird. The parrot brain is wired differently from a human brain. It is much smaller, but size does not equal intelligence. What matters is complexity. And the parrot brain, particularly in species like the African gray, the Amazon, and the cockatoo, is extraordinarily complex in the regions responsible for communication and social learning. The emotional layer. But understanding words is only half of the story. The part that truly changes everything is what researchers discovered about the emotional intelligence of parrots.
Alex, on the day he was taken to a veterinary clinic for a medical procedure, looked at Dr. Pepperberg as she prepared to leave him there alone, and he said something that stopped her cold. He said, "I love you. I am sorry. I am sorry. Come here. I love you." Those were not new words. He had heard them all before. But in that moment, scared and confused, he assembled them in a way that expressed something unmistakably real: fear, apology, need, love. Dr. Pepperberg stood in that clinic corridor and cried. Because what she heard was not a parrot repeating random phrases. What she heard was a living creature using the only language available to it, a language it had borrowed from humans, to express something it could not explain any other way. That is not mimicry. That is emotion finding a voice. And if Alex could do that, what does it mean for the birds sitting in your living room right now? When your parrot says, "I love you," is it possible that it is not just repeating something it heard? Is it possible that it means it? The science suggests it might.
What parrots cannot do. Now, honesty matters here. Parrots do not understand language the way adult humans do. They are not forming complex sentences built from grammar and syntax. They are not having philosophical conversations. They do not have the same depth of linguistic comprehension as a human child of 10 or 12. But they are not empty either. They are not just replaying sounds. The best way to think about it is this. A parrot's language ability is roughly comparable to that of a human child between 2 and 5 years old. They understand specific words. They associate words with meaning. They use words in context. They respond to tone and emotion. And sometimes, in moments that are difficult to explain away, they say exactly the right thing at exactly the right time. Alex died in September 2007. He was 31 years old. His last words to Dr. Pepperberg, spoken the night before he passed away during their usual goodbye routine, were these: "You be good. I love you. See you tomorrow." She never saw him tomorrow. What this means for you. So the next time your parrot says something to you, pause for a moment before you assume it is just noise. Because your parrot has been listening to you, watching you, learning the words that matter most in your home, in your relationship, in your shared daily life. And it has been choosing which ones to use, when to use them, and who to use them with. That is not nothing. That is something remarkable. The bird sitting in your home right now is not a recording device. It is a living, feeling, thinking creature that decided your language was worth learning, that your voice was worth listening to, that your words were worth repeating. And in a world full of creatures that cannot speak to us at all, there is something extraordinary about a being that looked at human language and said, "I want to try that too."
Do parrots really understand what they are saying? The honest answer is more than we thought, much more, and perhaps in ways that science is still only beginning to understand. Alex proved that, and somewhere in your home, your parrot is proving it every single day. Every hello, every "I love you," every word said at just the right moment. It is not an accident. It is not just sound. It is your parrot trying to reach you in the only human way it knows how. Subscribe to Parrot Mind for more extraordinary parrot science and psychology, and leave a comment telling us the most surprising or meaningful thing your parrot has ever said to you. Because some of the most honest words ever spoken have come from the smallest voices in the room.